I had a chance to come into your training sessions there and get a chance to be a fly on the wall and actually check out what you're doing, and what are some of the things that you do different than anybody else that you feel is really giving your guys or your ladies an advantage?
I studied in the Soviet Union for 30 years. I've had the opportunity to talk to the Bulgarian Olympic team doctor. I've had Dr. Romanov here. I followed Bert Brzezinski and Zazorsky and Medvedev, and I did seminars with Dr. Mel Siff, the late Mel Siff, who actually published Super Training book. And I went science, and no one seems to think. They always want to use a modified product of what I do, and that's fine, because if you don't do the whole system, you'll never beat us. And they don't. They can't beat us. So that's what I'm most proud of, that I was actually smart enough to change. The hardest thing for a human to do is to change, and they just don't want to change. You got to realize weights have many facets: spatial strength, explosive strength, strength, speed. You must have endurance. You have to have dynamic endurance, hands and feet in a fight. Long distance, slow endurance in a long run. So you must learn all these spatial strengths. And strength is a common word and everything. It just means has one meaning, but it doesn't. And when I learned that, and I learned how to control volume and intensities, high volume on a dynamic day with moderate intensity, and then 72 hours later, the volume of max effort is very low. We get the largest weight as possible, as fast as possible, but the intensity is 100% plus. We normally break records over 90% of the time. Unlike American weightlifting that you see goes nowhere for the last 30 or 40 years, our training is 80% a spatial exercise and only 20% classical lifts, the squat, bench, and deadlift. We live on spatial exercises, building up the lagging muscle groups. Jan Tons is one of the famous old Russian lifters. He only did Olympic lift 10%, 90% spatial exercise. All the books that I have point to that direction, that the greater you become at your sport, the more spatial exercise you have to do.